Hi everyone, today we will begin laying down on our backs. So find a comfortable position, laying on your mat, resting your hands by your side. And start to become aware of your breathing here. Feeling the inhale and the exhale. And then hug your right knee in towards your chest, squeezing the knee close towards you. We will use a strap today to stretch through our legs. So grabbing a strap or a scarf, if you don't have a strap, a belt can also work. Place it in the arch of your foot. Holding onto the strap, stretching the leg up towards the ceiling. And then start to roll the ankle one way here, warming up the ankle joint. And then rolling the ankle the opposite way. Try to keep the leg still as you do this, so it's just the foot and the ankle that moves. And then start to point the toes up to the ceiling and then draw the toes towards the face, pointing and flexing the toes. As you do this, you'll feel a stretch down the back of your calf muscle. And then grabbing the strap into your right hand, bring your left hand onto your left hip. You can start to open the right leg out to the side here, opening the hip. You can keep the left leg straight, or you can bend the knee with the sole of the foot onto the floor if that's easier. And just open the hip as much as you can today, keeping the left hip in contact with the mat so the left hip doesn't rise. And then lifting the leg back up to center and switch hands here. So take the straps in the left hand and come into a reclined twist, drawing the right leg towards the left side of the body. So make sure your left leg is straight as you do this. Turn to gaze at your right fingertips, making sure the left shoulder stays in contact with the mat. Feeling the twist in the spine here. And then lifting the leg back up to center, bend the knee, remove the strap from the foot, and straighten out the right leg. And then hug the left knee in towards you, squeezing the left knee towards your chest. And place the strap in the arch of the left foot. Stretch the leg up to the ceiling as you hold onto the strap. Start to roll the ankle one way, keeping the leg as still as possible. And then rolling the ankle the other way. And start to point and flex the foot, so pointing the toes up to the ceiling and then drawing the toes back towards the face. And then grabbing the strap into your left hand, bring your right hand to your right hip and opening the left leg out to the side, creating a stretch and an opening through the left hip, making sure the right hip stays in contact to the mat. And then lifting the leg back up to center, straightening through the right leg. And then coming into the reclining twist onto the other side. So the strap is now in your right hand. Reaching the leg over to the floor and looking to your left fingertips. And gently bring the leg back to center. Bend the knee, release the strap. And then hug both knees into your chest here. Straighten both legs to the ceiling and lift your head, your neck, your shoulders off the mat. Reaching your hands forward, palms facing each other. Look into your thighs, engage your core muscles here, engage the Uddiyana Bandha, drawing the navel into the spine. Bend the knees, hug the knees back to your chest and start to roll up and down, starting with small rolls and then making the rolls bigger and bigger until you come all the way up to seated at the top of your mat. And stretch the wrists, interlacing the fingers, pushing the hands, the palms away from you. And then keeping the fingers interlaced, reach the arms up over your head, pushing the palms up towards the ceiling as you keep your shoulders down. And then slowly release the hands and float them back down to the earth. Then making your way into your tabletop position, coming onto all fours, stacking the hips over the knees, the wrists over the shoulders over the wrists. And we can start our cat-cow movements here. So inhale, arching the back, looking forwards. Exhale, rounding the back, drawing the chin to the chest, drawing the tailbone down. Inhale, arch the back. Exhale, rounding the back, chin to chest. Do this one more time. And then making your way back to tabletop. And inhale, extending the right leg back and the left arm forward into your opposite arm and leg stretch. Exhale, bend the knee, bend the elbow to touch underneath you as you round the back. And inhale, stretching back out. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, stretching back out. Do this one more time. And then place the knee and the hand back down and we'll come on to the other side. So inhale, stretching the left leg back and the right arm forward. Exhale, bending the knee and the elbow to touch. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale, knee to elbow. Once more. And place the hand and the knee back down. And start some spinal rolls here, some free movement in tabletop. We're creating circles with the hips, small or large movements, whatever feels best for you right now. And then bringing your forearms onto the ground and grabbing hold of the opposite elbows. Tuck your toes under and straighten your legs as you lift your knees. Start to walk the feet in as much as you can, coming into your dolphin pose, working through the shoulders and the side obliques. Keep pushing through the forearms, lifting the hips a little higher. And then drop the knees. Come to your child's pose, resting your arms by your side. And here you can roll the head from side to side, massaging the forehead into the mat. When we massage the forehead, it has a really calming effect on the brain, on the mind. And then when you're ready, come to sit up, so you're sitting on your heels. And then making your way back to tabletop, tucking the toes under and pushing back to your downward facing dog. You can bend one knee, stretching out the other leg, and then switch, stretching through the hamstrings. And then come into stillness. And bend the knees, looking between the hands. And then you can start to slowly walk your feet forward, coming into your Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. And then start to roll up the spine, vertebra by vertebra, keeping a slight bend in the knees. Head stays down, and the shoulders, and then the head comes up last, so you're in your Tadasana. In Tadasana, take a few moments here to focus back onto your breathing, feeling the inhale and the exhale. And then inhale, raising the arms over your head. Come into a slight back bend, palms to touch. And exhale, folding forward, swinging the hands behind. Inhale, reaching back up, arms come overhead into a back bend. Exhale, forward fold, swing the hands behind you. One more, inhale, reaching the arms up. And exhale, forward fold. And then clasp the hands behind you. Bend the knees and draw the torso towards the thighs as you draw the hands away from the body up towards the ceiling. Release the hands. Come to your halfway lift, the fingertips to touch the shins or the floor. Straight back, straight legs. Exhale to forward fold. Plant the hands, step back. Come to your plank position. Hips in line with the body. Make sure the shoulders are stacked over the wrists. Engage in the core. Exhale, drop the knees, chin, chest to the mat. And inhale, come to your cobra pose. Exhale, tuck the toes, push back to your downward facing dog. Take a breath here in downward dog. Spreading the fingers, rooting the hands into the mat, lifting the hips up to the ceiling. And then bend the knees, looking between the hands, step one foot forward, followed by the other, coming back to halfway lift. Straight legs. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, reaching the arms overhead into your upward hands pose. And exhale, fold straight back down to forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank position. Take an inhale here in your plank, drawing the navel to the spine. And then exhale, drop the knees, chin and chest to the mat, keeping the elbows close to the body. Inhale, scoop through either to your cobra or push through your hands, coming into your upward facing dog with straight arms, lifting the body off the floor, the thighs, the hips. And then exhale to your downward facing dog. From downward dog, inhale, bend the knees, looking between the hands, and then step or maybe jump to your hands to your halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifting the arms overhead, palms to touch, and then exhale the hands to heart center into your Tadasana. On your next inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, scoop the fingertips alongside your legs, reach the arms up, come into your chair pose. So keeping the knees bent, keep sinking the hips and keep reaching the fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step back to plank position. Taking an inhale here. And exhale, drop the knees, chin, chest to the mat. Inhale to your cobra, or push through the hands, straightening the arms to your upward facing dog, whichever variation you prefer. And then exhale, come back to your downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee and draw the knee towards the nose. Plant the foot in between the hands. Come up to your high lunge, so hips stay facing forward, back heel is off the floor. Reaching the arms alongside your ears, reaching the fingertips up to the ceiling. Front knees bent. Exhale, plant the hands back onto the mat, stepping back to your plank. Inhale here. And exhale, drop the knees, chin, chest. Inhale to your cobra or upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raising the left leg to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee, draw the knee forward, plant the foot in between the hands and come up to your high lunge on this side. So front knees bent, stacked over the ankle, reaching the arms up alongside your ears. Exhale, plant the hands to the mat and step back to plank. Inhale here. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale to your cobra or upward dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. From your downward dog, bend the knees, look in between the hands and either step or jump, hop through to your halfway lift and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reaching the arms overhead and exhale, hands come back to heart center, Tadasana, the top of your mat. Take a couple of breaths here in your Tadasana. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, come back to your chair, reaching the arms up alongside your ears. And then exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Inhale to your halfway lift. And exhale, plant the hands, stepping back to your plank position. Inhale here. Exhale, drop the knees, chin, chest to the mat. Inhale to your cobra. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg back up to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, draw the knee forward to the nose, plant the foot. Make your way back to your high lunge, reaching the arms up alongside your ears, front knees bent, hips are forward. Release your hands by your sides and then clasp the hands behind your back. Inhale to a back bend here as you draw the clasp hand down towards the mat. Exhale, fold forward from the hips, keep the front knee bent, keep folding forward, lowering the torso to the inside of the right thigh. Keeping the hands clasped, reaching those hands up to the ceiling, drawing the head towards the mat. Inhale, come back up, release the hands, bring the hands into your hips, and we'll work with our warrior 3 pose here. So start to bring the weight into your right foot, and then start to float your left foot off the mat as you float that leg up, at the same time lowering the torso down. So just play with this here, see how far you can come. It's okay if you can just float the leg. See if you can float the leg a little bit more. See if you can lower the torso a little bit more. And if you feel you have your balance, you can release your hands alongside your body. And then when you're ready, stepping back, planting the hands, and step back to plank. Take an inhale and exhale. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, raising the left leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, draw the knee forward, planting the foot in between the hands. Come into your high lunge on this side, reaching the arms up overhead. Releasing the hands by the side and clasping the hands behind your back. Inhale to your back bend, drawing the hands down to the earth, opening the chest. Then exhale, folding from the hips, drawing the torso to the inside of the left thigh, reaching the arms up, still clasped, stretching through the shoulders and drawing the head down. Slowly come up on the inhale and bring your hands onto your hips, and let's work with warrior 3 on this side. Bring the weights into your left leg, start to float the right leg up to the ceiling. Keep floating the leg up as you draw the torso down, so the torso and the leg become parallel to the mat, creating that T shape, maybe releasing the hands to the sides. And then stepping back to your lunge, plant the hands, step back to plank, drop the knees, chin, chest, inhale to your cobra or your upward dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. From here, drop the knees, come take a child's pose. Bring the arms alongside the legs so the hands are next to the feet, rest in the arms. Let the forehead rest on the mat. And stay here for 5 breaths. After your 5 breaths, make your way back to your forward fold, your standing forward fold. And then slowly rolling up the spine, bringing the head up. So you come back to your Tadasana. From here, step your right foot out to the side, coming into your warrior 2 position. So the hips open to the side, the back toes are facing to the side, front toes facing forward. Reaching the arms to shoulder height. And then looking to your left fingertips. Bend the back elbow and create a fist, and then create a thumbs up with your front fist, or front hand. Come to your archer pose. So inhale, leaning back as you draw your arrow. Looking towards your thumb. Exhale, release back to warrior 2. Inhale, flip the front palm, come up and over to your reverse warrior, bringing the back hand to above or below the knee of the back leg. Looking up to the top arm. Exhale, come straight to your side angle pose, resting the forearm on the thigh, reaching the top arm over, fingertips pointing to the top of the mat. And then you can stay here, or you can try a different arm variation, bringing your hand to either a block or the floor or your ankle, straightening through that left arm. Then inhale, back to warrior 2. Straighten the legs, turn both hips out to the side, both toes pointing forward. Clasp the hands behind your back, take an inhale. And exhale, folding from the hips, keeping those hands clasped as you fold forward into your wide leg forward fold. Drawing the hands away from the body, stretching through the shoulders. Slowly rising back up to standing. And then turn to the other side, come into warrior two on the other side. So your right toes are pointing forward, your left toes pointing out to the side. Bring the arms to shoulder height, warrior two. And bend the back elbow, creating a fist with the back hand. Create a fist and a thumbs up with the right hand. Inhale, lean back into your back bend as you pull your arrow back. Exhale, release back to warrior two. Inhale, flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Exhale to your side angle pose, reaching the top arm over, fingertips to the front of the mat, palm face down. Either keep the elbow resting on the thigh above the knee, or you can start to extend the arm, reaching the fingertips to either a block if you have one, or the fingertips towards the floor. Strong legs here. Inhale back up to your warrior two, straighten through the legs, turn both feet to face the side, hips facing the side, hands on the hips. Start to fold forward to your wide-legged forward fold. You can release the fingertips or the hands to the mat here or to a block. You can widen the stance as much as you like. And let the head hang, let the neck and the head be relaxed. Then bring the left hand directly under your face. Inhale, reaching the right arm up, coming into a twist here. Twisting to the right side. Try to look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release the hand and bring the right hand underneath the face. Inhale, reaching the left arm up, twisting to the left, bringing the gaze upwards. Exhale, release, back to forward fold. And then from here, turn your feet and your hips, coming into a low lunge to the top of your mat, and step back to downward facing dog. Drop the knees here, come to a child's pose. Take a couple of breaths in your child's pose. When you're ready, making your way back to your downward facing dog. From here, we will make our way into our pigeon pose. So inhale, raising the right leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, and then draw the knee forward, plant the knee to the right hand, and bringing the foot to the left side of the mat. Walking the back toes, and then releasing the back leg along the mat. If this is too much for you, you can bring the foot directly under the right hip, the right sitting bone. Otherwise, bring in the right foot towards the left side of the mat. You can place a block under your right hip. Make sure your hips are level here so you're not leaning to one side. And then start to walk the hands forward, releasing the forearms and releasing the forehead. And then start to lengthen your breathing here. Start to inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 4. Slowly start to make your way out of pigeon, lifting the head, walking the hands back into the body. Remove the block and step back to your downward dog. Do any movements you need here, bending through the knees, wiggling the hips. And then we'll go on to the other side. So inhale, raising the left leg, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw the knee forward, plant the knee to the left hand, and then the foot either comes to the right side of the mat, or if that's too much, placing the foot underneath your left hip. Place a block under the hip. Make sure the hips are equal, and then start to walk the hands forward. Release the forearms, release the forehead. Start to lengthen your breath here again, surrendering to the mat in your pigeon pose. Starting to make your way out of pigeon pose, lifting the forehead, walking the hands back to your body. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, come back to downward dog. Again, any movements here that you need, feel free to do. Then dropping the knees, come to sit onto your heels. And take a breath here. So we will come into our camel pose here. So there's a couple of options you can use, especially if you have bricks. You can place the bricks alongside the feet, so to the outsides of the feet. If you don't have bricks, just stick with option 1. So option 1, to reach the arms behind you, bringing the hands onto the lower back with the fingers facing towards your legs. With the hands supporting your lower back, you can start to lean back, opening the chest up as you inhale. And then taking a couple of breaths here. Otherwise, you can bring your hands to rest onto the block or the fingertips to touch the block. And then the same here, so start to lean back. Inhale, pushing the chest forwards, opening the heart center, pushing the hips forward. Stay for a couple of breaths in either variation, and then to come out, bring your hands onto your lower back, rise the spine back up, and then release into a child's pose position with the hands alongside the feet. And let's stay here in child's pose for a few breaths. Again, deepen the breath here. Come back to that breathing in for 4, breathing out for 4. Slowly making your way out of child's pose and coming into your tabletop position onto all fours. We'll come into our thread the needle pose here. So inhale, raising the left arm up, and then exhale, thread the hand and the arm underneath the right arm. Then walking the right fingertips out to the top of your mat. Keep the hips stacked over the knees here so the hips stay high. You can keep the right arm stretched out, or you can wrap that top arm over your back to deepen the stretch a little bit. One more breath here, feeling the stretch in the spine. If the arm is wrapped behind your back, release the arm. Plant the palm next to your face. And then inhale, raising the left arm back up. Exhale, release back to tabletop. And we'll do this on the other side. Inhale the right arm up. And exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left arm. Walking the left fingertips to the top of your mat. You can either stay here or you can wrap that top arm around your back, reaching to the opposite thigh. Make sure your hips stay stacked over your knees here. And take one more breath here. Then releasing the hand, pushing into the palm. Inhale the right arm back up and exhale to tabletop. Come back to sit onto your heels. And then making your way into a seated position with the legs out wide. We're going to come into our wide-legged forward fold. So make sure you have protection underneath your ankles if you need to place blankets or something soft underneath. You can also sit on a blanket, a pillow or a block if you have one to help keep the spine straighter. You can also, if you have a block or two, or if you have some pillows, you can place them out in front of you, build them up to rest your head as you fold forward. So take an inhale, reaching the arms up, then exhale, folding from the hips, folding as far forward as your hips allow you, and using any props that you have to support your head. And then relax the arms on the floor. And stay here for a few breaths. Lengthening the breath as you're here. Slowly start to rise back up to seated. Move any props and then bring the legs back together. Move the legs to shake if you need to. Make your way into your half boat pose. Hands behind your thighs, lift one leg up followed by the other. Look to your toes and release the hands alongside your body. We will lower halfway 2 times. So inhale here. And then as you exhale, straighten through the legs, lowering halfway. Inhale, come back up, and exhale, lower halfway. Well done. And then slowly release all the way onto the mat. And feel the whole of your body come into contact with the mat here. All of the muscles relax. So we will finish our practice with our reclined twist here. So bending your knees and hugging your knees in to your chest. You can rock side to side a little if you like. And then opening the arms out to shoulder height. Drop the knees over to your right side and turn your gaze to your left fingertips, making sure the left shoulder stays in contact to the mat. You can bring your right hand to rest on your top leg to deepen the stretch a little if you like. And draw the knees back up to center and drop them straight over to the left side, turning your gaze to your right fingertips, ensuring Both shoulders stay in contact with the mat here. Again, if you want to place your left hand on the top leg to deepen the stretch, you can do so. And bringing the knees back up to center, hug the knees into your chest. You can stay here, or if you like, you can take a happy baby by grabbing hold of either the ankle or onto the outside of the feet. Keep the knees bent. You can start to rock side to side. This is a really nice opening and stretch through the hips. Then release the feet, hug the knees back into your chest. And stretch one leg out along the mat, followed by the other, coming into your savasana, your final resting pose. So make yourself comfy here, do any final adjustments you need to get as comfy as possible. And then closing down the eyes, feeling each part of your body in contact with the mat. Start to return your attention to your breathing, noticing the inhale and the exhale. Noticing the movement of the belly as you breathe in and out, the rising of the belly on the inhale and the falling of the belly on the exhale. And try to keep your awareness on this movement as you lay here in your Shavasana. Slowly start to wiggle your toes and your fingers, bringing some movement back into your body. And then bend the knees, hug the knees to your chest. And roll on to one side. Keep your eyes closed, slowly make your way to seated. Bring your hands together to heart center. Namaste. Thank you for joining me.